I think you helped out first on my friend John's film.
Yeah,
that I was DPing.
Right.
And yeah, you helped out on that, and that was good help. Thank you.
Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
Glad you were there. It was fun hanging out with you and talking.
Oh yeah, with a good amount.
Yeah, and then we had you on the sketch as co-director.
Yes,
man, you just fucking you went from PA to co-director like that, man.
I know, this is how you get, this guy you move up in there.
Real quick though, so I actually stared doing this thing. So there's this book, Directing Actors by Judith Weston. Nice. Shout out. Basically though, I've used this on all of my narrative films, all my serious things that I take very seriously. Right, but I'm gonna be working my way into using these exercises and whatnot in this book on some of the sketches, the ones that I'm directing behind the camera.
Good.
But the only thing about it is, I mean, if I'm directing using those techniques, it's such a specific thing I'm aiming for, a specific target. Right. It's going, when it comes to, it's going to make it, what makes it hard to do that, or what it opens you up to is the realization, I know what I'm doing now. You have a distinct roadmap. Right. By giving, you're thinking about directions, 5 directions in advance, like a chess player. Right. And you're working on layering those things. So, and I've done, and the reason I didn't do this with sketches is because it takes like an hour or more per page, or around an hour of deep work on it. Of course, and so that it lays the foundation, the fertilizer for those ideas to spring forth when we're working on it on set. And I just did 1 hour on the dinner sketch we're gonna do. I'm gonna direct that behind the camera. I'm gonna get some other people to act in everything, but I've already started realizing some problems with the character that just doesn't make any sense. So I'm gonna have to give those directions to the actor. Right. So the what I'm getting at is, it's such a targeted thing, and it's like a chess master thinking 5 step moves ahead, and he's got to stay on that path to hit that objective. But if somebody's coming out of left field, doesn't know your plan, and they're giving directions too, it might set because it's hard for an actor to hear multiple directions, and sometimes even if they are told, don't listen to this person, you have to say you don't have to, because they have to have the autonomy and the choice to make that decision for themselves. Right. But they might choose to go with the direction from somebody else than the director, and it might veer off the track that we're trying to go on. Right. So when it comes, I might, if you're all okay with it, I'll probably have you as like if you're still interested in working on that one, probably first AD or something. Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely. And if you have, I'm still open to like ideas for directing the actors. If you want to show up to rehearsal as well, because I plan to have a rehearsal for that. But run the ideas through my ear. Like come like let me know. Yeah. And then I'll filter it through that to them if it most likely it'll work with the plan. Right. Yeah, I hate it. I hate explaining that to people, because it's like I'm basically saying to them, I'm the director now, shut up. It's true. That's basically what you're saying. Right. But it's like, I think the chess analogy is like, that's the way to explain it, because like once you do this prep work, you're like Rusty Spade. Right. We saw it at Chris's house at the party. That was fun. Yeah. And I'm sorry I didn't talk as much there, because I was like, by the time when I got there, I was like, where's Stas? And I was like, I would have been talk with you, or your ear off. And then I just exhausted myself talking to everybody else. But I was on a roll with talking to Kevin Oster, because I was like, I want to have this guy on my podcast, and I'll know what to talk about with them, because when you're talking to Kevin Oster, he gets into like a groove with talking about things. He's very passionate about what he's talking about, and it's contagious. And he's knowledgeable too about a lot of different things. He's been doing it. He's been doing. He'd been reaching out to me about films like that I've been doing, like trying to find actors like for a while. Geez, I remember the first ad I put out for actors. I felt so at the time, like I was like, oh, this is so like I'm putting an ad out on a professional like website for
Backstage or something.
Film.org.
Yeah, film.org.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, No, we're doing professional shit here
Oh, yeah.
compared to a lot of the. Not to knock people, but yeah, to knock people. It's like some of those
Well,
projects. It's like they're kind of sketchy, but
yeah,
because they
yeah.
don't do reference. They don't really feel it. But I'm glad they don't, because it's like I would have never gotten to where I am now if it weren't for that. Like that
Oh, yeah.
website changed the game for me.
Absolutely.
Being able to put ads out there back when I didn't really have the money to pay for it.
Yeah, yes,
I
yes.
was like, but no, so I mean, so if you're cool with that, and I hate to be like such a condescending asshole and be like, I can you be like first AD and like, but and if you have like ideas for directions, I'm hoping that maybe I can change that rule. But like when when I read this book, I'm like, yeah, in order to do this properly. But then you run into the problem of somebody who's not in the crew not knowing that, and somebody, and it could be an asshole, or it could be like somebody not understanding. It's like what you're trying to do is something very specific,
Right.
and it can be derailed.
Well, the thing is about that is basically my philosophy on this is that the people need to kind of like have the same mindset, kind of like go the same direction, like the two. I mean, it's good you have your opinion, you have your ideas and I have my ideas, but in general we mash those ideas together, and then going in the same flow. So it's like it needs to kind of like be from the start. It starts from the rehearsals. You see, rehearsals are important. You start working in rehearsals, so the actors with director and all that stuff, rehearsing. You see what's happening in rehearsals. You do, to me, about 80 to 90% of the work on the rehearsals.
I think part of the reason we have the role of a director in something, part of it, I think, is the limited bandwidth of being able to communicate ideas and information. And also I think it's personality, because I think great movies often come from, and not always, but most of the time great movies come from a singular vision from somebody, and they make sure that their vision is realized.
Right.
But along the way, there's, great movies are made by, having that idea, but and also but also being open to other ideas from people.
Right.
Like I do want ideas. I will thrive if you give me ideas when we're on set directing actors, but just run them by me, because if it runs up against something I'm trying to do, like if it's a completely different direction from where I'm going, you don't know, because it's limited bandwidth. Like we can't communicate via Neuralink because we don't have it yet.
Right. Yeah.
But that might be the thing. It's like in the future when we have all these, like when everybody has this ability to communicate in this like supernatural way, almost.
Right.
It's like,
right.
But with technology, it's like filmmaking is going to be very different. People will be just thinking intuitively together, like, okay, we like this idea, but they're not saying it out loud. They're just all looking at each other, thinking it.
Yeah.
and so,
but it's like in a way that's happening kind of like now. If you like, you have people on set and working and looking at the camera, and it's like, did you see that? Oh, how did you like this? Like, how did you like this camera? And you bring people together, and you're like, oh yeah, I like this angle, or I like what this actor did there. And
it's going to be what it is now.
Yeah, it is
on a good set,
right?
But more intense. It's going to be taken it's going to be taken up to 10 to 100 or 1,000,
right?
Times as much as it is now, and that's exciting because as much as Kubrick is a great director, my favorite is Andrei Tarkovsky, the Russian director. My favorite, probably my favorite director of all time, because he was a Kubrick. He was that level of visionary,
right?
But he like a couple things I think, and main two ones that I've been thinking about lately is he involved everyone very intuitively, and he recognized that. I'm sure Kubrick did, but he was still a bit of a control freak, and he'd be an asshole at times, but sometimes you have to be. But I mean, it's like, he like Andre, like when he was doing his film The Mirror, the most personal one, everybody lived on set at this location, this house that was supposed to be like based on his childhood. It was his most personal film. It was kind of based on his childhood, but they got to wake up in the morning to the dew on the plants and everything in the fields, and see the sun hitting it, and just the smell of it every day, and they became immersed in that environment that the characters of the story were living in. And that was important because then the ideas for the film came from that. A lot of ideas, and they worked their way into the way that the film was made.
Right.
And that to me is like where we'd be going with technology.
With technology, yeah. But until we get there, you gotta just enjoy what we have.
I'm hoping that I get the films I want to make done before that.
I'm pretty sure you will. I mean, this is like
the main ones I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like 100 or so years from now. I mean, the technology won't. I mean, as far as technology goes, fast right now. But I think we still enjoy, because I in a way, it's like, I hope me as an up and coming actor, I still hope that I will be in the movies that's not just green screen. Like you see, like now people like, oh, it's just a green screen. It's acting in front of a green screen.
Yeah,
and
we should get to that. Well, green screen. I'm working on a comedy sketch. Oh, I won't get into this. No,
on the green screen with the green screen.
No, I've done. I did it becomes pure theater when you're doing a green screen thing.
Yeah,
because I heard somebody say, it might have been Paul Dano saying this. Or I could be wrong. And it's like you have to imagine everything when you're there. But I get why it's like that's not what I do this for. When, like you hear like great actors like I forget who was it. Maybe it might have been the guy you were saying you were going to dress up as. Who was it? It might have been him.
But no, Ian McKellen.
Yeah, it might have been Ian McKellen.
I can't top Ian McKellen's fashion style. Not there yet.
I forgot the fishing vest.
It's okay. He's one of my favorite actors full time, and I mean, God bless him. He's fantastic, wonderful, phenomenal human being. Did so much, for community and just the movement and everything. So. But one of the interviews I kept watching him was that he said he was, I think, they were filming Lord of the Rings, and he was playing Gandalf, and they were filming the scene with Balrog where he's on the bridge, and he said, "You shall not pass." But it was all done in the studio. So he's and I'm just reciting what he said, but he's like asking Peter Jackson, "All right, so what do I have? What direction?" He's like, "Oh, well, you just stand here, stand in this spot. This is the mark, and look at this green screen, and look at this. Your eye line would be that tennis ball up, And he's just like, all right, well, what is this thing? What's Balrog looks like? He's like, oh, well, we don't know. Don't worry about it. We don't know yet. We're still working on it. So just make it up. He's just like, wow. So I don't know what that thing looks. So he said, I was just yelling at the tennis ball. You shall not pass. And he said the tennis ball kept like falling down.
So back to this book that I keep mentioning. The thing with it is, you do the prep work as a director, an intense amount of prep work,
right?
And it's like I said, fertilizer. You're relaying fertilizer so that when you get on set, if an actor, in a situation like that where Peter Jackson is telling Ian McKellen, "Oh, you just think of something," that's your job as the director. I mean, the actor it's his job as well. But if you're a good director, you take it on as your own responsibility to give the actor things like, because that's a hard thing to come up with on the spot. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I mean, correct myself. He said like, oh, it's going to be just this fire thing or whatever.
Oh, yeah, not to shit on him.
No. But they said that we don't know what it looks like yet, because we didn't create. We're still in the process of creating it.
It's, even if you don't know what it looks like, you should. And I honestly, though, he's way busier when it comes to film. When it comes to making films, he's probably 100,000 of times more busy than I am on set. So of course his brain's gonna be shot. I focus on creating films in a way where I'm not gonna have. I'm gonna still have faculty left. I mean, no, not usually, but no. I mean, no, it's a struggle. But I mean, I this skill or this thing I've used from this book. It's like, once when you're on that set, it's like the best decision is to be able to know what to tell the actor, or when you do that prep, you're not going to be drawing specific to what you said or what you wrote and doing the prep work, but it gives you the ideas on set
that
are very related and rooted in that, and you
Right.
basically are able to say, all right, look, think about this, or but you can also think of like an analogy, like just you as a director, you got to think of something that evokes the emotion that you want out of him. The prep work is you figure out what emotions and stuff you want, and then you figure out, okay, what can I say to get that? What's an actionable direction? Like do it as if you're blah, or your objective is to do this, or I want you to, and give them an action verb or something, or give them a verb or something that they can, or you basically, and I think it'd be an as if in that moment, like if he's giving him that direction on green screen, this thing, I want you to look at it, and this thing, the as if is I don't know if you're supposed to be scared or something, as if it's Jaws, the shark, or as if it's your ex, like give them something that they can relate to experience wise. And if it works, you see it on set when it happens, when they do that performance, you see it in their face, you see it in their performance.
But in a way, it's also like, I just bounce back off from that. I mean, there are different ways, right? Different styles, but there also is a lot on, in my opinion, is on actors as well, to just to have that work, to have that imagination, to have that freedom to imagine what they have, what they see, and kind of go off the knowledge that they have and like emotionalize it. Because I feel like when the actor is prepared and ready, to the work, and they've done all this work, when they come on set and they've done their emotional preparation, and their imagination and everything is working, and the creativity is there, the work becomes, with everything else, where work becomes a lot more clear, a lot more like easier with the director, especially because you will see that the actor is performing as a director. It's also, as it's supposed to look like, as it's supposed to be. And then of course there are directions, there's change on the spot, because on the day of shooting, what you rehearsed might not be the same. You might doesn't look the same, and we're going to change a little bit here and there directions, but it's all back to where it comes. It all comes from the rehearsals. I feel I'm a strong person. Like I like rehearsing. The rehearsing is where everything, the groundwork lays down, and then when you go out on shoot, you perform. That's a performance. It's just like a theater. You do rehearsing, and then on a opening day, on opening night or whatever, you go out and you perform in front of people, and that's it. At that point, that's your performance. Same thing here is you rehearse, you go out on a shoot, you in front of green screen or whatever, that's your performance as an actor, and then everything else behind it.
So I think actors, like a great actor does the preparation themselves, but also a great director does the preparation themselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so a great actor and a great director working together, they both have done the preparation. They basically by preparation, it's basically the way to summarize it in my words, it's you do the work ahead of time that you need to do, so that you can bring it, regardless of how your fucking day is going.
Yeah, you have to.
You're a professional. You show up, you're able to do it. So basically, that's ideally you have a great director doing the prep work, and a great actor doing the prep work, and that creates an amazing film.
Oh, absolutely. Just so many.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this podcast clip. For notes and links to things mentioned on the show, my films, full episodes, or other selected clips, go to profittableproductions.com/podcast. Profitable is spelled like my name with 2 F's and 2 T's. Also, for updates on future episodes, follow me on Instagram at Proffitt Take and at Profitable Productions. Consider liking and subscribing. It helps me out a lot. Thanks again. Catch you on the next take.